Well, everyone, welcome to the weekly meeting. We've got kind of a small group. We'll wait for a few more people to join in, but while we wait, we can just get started with just checking in with everybody, where everybody's at. Any questions you might have about getting through the phase that you're in, whether that's preparing for the exam, getting licensed, getting onboarded with EXP, whatever that it might be. And yeah, if you're in a safe situation, I ask that you turn your camera on. I see a message from Sydney driving, so camera will be off. Totally understand. But yeah, anyone else that is in a safe situation, it would make it a more interactive experience if you had your camera on and ready to contribute when called upon. What's your first name, Iribe? I think you're on mute. Still nothing. We'll go over to Al for a second while you get your mic figured out. How's it going, Al?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Well, how are you doing?
Blessed.
That's awesome. Same here. Yeah, doing well. So
Yeah.
actually just in-laws are in town, so we're just been palling around and up here in the mountains right now, so which is pretty fun. So just getting some work done this morning and then we'll go play this afternoon. So
Nice.
yeah, super stoked. But yeah, I got a question as far as kind of just been the past 10 years have kind of been black on all the social media platforms. I have an Instagram account. I don't have a Facebook, so I don't know if you or anyone has suggestions on kind of how to get back into the game there. It's just something I haven't done for a long time. So it's kind of a question that I've been asking because LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff, you kind of have to market yourself. So if anyone has any suggestions would be great.
Yeah. So quick side note that just came to mind of on that topic. I was talking with one of my lender buddies, and he was saying how, because I was kind of communicating with him about how getting on social media and getting out there and trying to stay competitive in that environment. But the kind of the curveball that he threw at me, curveball of an idea, is that the people that are ready to make a move with real estate and actually either buy or sell, most of them are probably not on social media. The ones that are um, the ones that are on there and are ready to take a step in either selling or buying real estate, they're probably in like a lower price range. And not that that's the reason that you shouldn't work with them, but they probably also are the ones that are like a little more on the fence and require significantly more work to convince. And it's not just like a numbers thing. It's um, continually convincing them, which I enjoy doing. I do enjoy educating people on the benefits of real estate investing and helping them navigate the process of buying or selling if it's their first time encountering that situation. But that's just one idea. And so what he proposed and what he's kind of been using to find some more steady, easier to work with folks is networking with financial advisors. Because people that have a financial advisor or like a financial planner or whatever it is, they kind of just trust that person, that financial advisor that's giving them advice on what to do, and they also have the financial means to acquire a property, or if they already have one, they have the understanding to sell it. So that was just an idea to consider. So if you went on all in on networking with financial advisors, that would be probably a pretty lucrative investment of your time. But to answer the social media topic, because I've gotten pretty much all of my clients to this point from social media, from my network, reaching out to them through social media. And as far as getting back into the groove of that, while others are in the group are thinking of responses of ways that they're doing that. Um, some things to keep in mind: you may want to start like a business profile where it's just like Al DeSimone, realtor, which I recently had my virtual assistant create, and then so you have that page, and then you have a personal page. For the longest time, I just had everything on my personal page. Like I'd announce like new listing or open house, whatever it is. Um, I just did that all on my regular Facebook page. But now I have the business page, and so the one of the things you can do is you keep it nothing but business on that page, and then you share from that page to your page to attract people from your network to like announce that you're a realtor, to share information about properties you're selling, all that stuff. Um, as far as that's does that kind of answer your question about that's a little bit of guidance like on something to do
Yeah,
as we get started,
yeah,
but
absolutely. Just to kind of get started, because
mm,
I'm like, the company has, a Facebook page and all that sort of stuff. So I mean, I think it's important to, keep up with current events and all that sort of stuff. It's just super uncomfortable with the whole social media game. So it makes me feel better that it's not like a necessity to like get out there right away. But great advice on like finding your market as far as with financial advisors and all that sort of stuff. So I appreciate that.
yeah. And another thing is also just to not really care, to not care about what people are going to think. Not try to make it perfect, nothing, because otherwise you'll spend like hours making like one post with like 10 words on it. But if you're just like you just get in the habit of just posting anything, who is interested in buying, like just that question, and like buying what, you don't even have to specify. Um, you can throw an emoji or whatever it is, like just get in the habit of just like, because the trick is to post more consistently, because like the algorithm and all that stuff, and that's like another rabbit hole you can go down, because like
Mm,
it's between like the hours of like 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., like depending on where you're at, like that's the peak time to post, because then it'll pop up in most people's feed, all that stuff. um but yeah, just consistently posting and not really caring too much about how it's going to be received, but just higher volume of posts.
cool. Appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah. Um, anyone else have anything to contribute on that? Anyone just knocking it out of the park with their social media game? Thousands and thousands of followers. Another random thing that I've experienced firsthand is if you do live videos, however the algorithm works, live videos or just videos with you actually on it, um, gets a lot more reactions. Um, that could be, I think a lot of it has to do with because people will actually stop and look at it and watch it if they actually see your face and they know you and they're like, I want to see what this guy's up to. Haven't heard from him in 10 years. And as opposed to if it's just some generic, like walking through a house and it's like, hey, what's the top three things to know about buying a home? Like if they see that, they're like, oh, it's probably just a paid advertisement. They keep swiping. But if they see your face and they're like, what's this guy talking about? He looks a little different. He has a beard now. Wasn't he in the military? So they'll actually watch it, might be compelled to react to it, click the like button or the laugh or the wow button or something. Yeah. Edibe, did you get your mic figured out? I,
Yes. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. Sorry for leaving for a second. Delivery guy just dropped a big ass package in front of my apartment. I didn't even know it was coming in
Uh,
today.
okay, nice.
Okay.
How's everything going? Where you at right now in your preparation to become a realtor?
I'm still doing pretty good. I kind of been doing a new system with studying, but now I use ChatGPT to like help me. If you ask ChatGPT to explain to you things like you're five, it'll actually do that and explain things in a very simple way. Whereas now, like I can make connections a lot better. So that's helping a lot, and just getting a little better at cold calling too. Feel like I'm getting pretty comfortable with that. Now I can kind of hold a conversation. So Yeah, it's just a little bit steady progress, I think.
Nice. That's good. Yeah, ChatGPT is a really powerful tool to use if you know how to use it. And you can use it for literally anything, for coming up with ideas for social media posts, for scripts when you're cold calling. Like if somebody stumps you with a question, like as you're cold calling, if you're fast enough and can type it in, you can type in a question and get an answer for them that's has a reasonable amount of accuracy. Um, so you're already licensed, or
No,
you
not
say?
yet.
Okay. And what state are you in right now?
State, California.
Okay. Um, Random little nugget while we're on the California licensing topic, because I know there's a good amount of people California in here. Um, there's some kind of like dual registration process. Are you familiar with that? It's like when after you pass the test, or like when you're signing up for the test, you say you want to, like, it's a combo application. I don't know if that rings a bell, but it'll make the process faster to get licensed and get your license activated if you do the combo application instead of just the individual.
Okay, I'll look it up.
Yep. Hayden, how's it going?
Good. How you doing, man?
Good. Where you at in the process?
Waiting to take my test once we get to Florida. We're actually traveling there right now. We had to kind of slow our travel plans, so we were staying in Texas with some friends for the until tomorrow, and then we're, because of the hurricane and everything,
Mhm.
and then we're finishing the drive out there. So I'm hoping to take the test within the next couple weeks.
Nice. Do you have like a planned date for that, or like what's the deciding factor on when you take it?
Just like getting out there, making sure like, we're actually, settled in the location, and then registering for the test.
Okay, sounds good.
So hopefully it's a pretty quick process, like get registered. They don't, they have plenty of, no, they don't make you schedule it super far out, but that would be the only thing that would, kind of extend the plan right now.
Yeah. Did you already do the fingerprint, background check, all that stuff?
No, I did it I submitted all that stuff, like the background check stuff for like my kids' sports stuff. So I'm hoping that I can, that background check will be good for the real estate stuff. So we'll see. I haven't been able to ask since we're not like there in person yet.
Okay. So for you and then for anyone else in the group, that not just for Florida, but whatever state you're in, there's different requirements for each state. For Hawaii, it was pretty easy. There was no background check, no fingerprints. I just had to do my pre-licensing and then pass the pre-licensing test and then the actual test and then the paperwork. But I've heard of from people in the past, from Florida in particular, that it can be a kind of a lengthy process to get the fingerprint thing done and the background check. But yeah, for wherever you are, everyone else in the group, definitely look into the requirements and things that you can do ahead of time, because it'll be a real momentum stopper if you you pass the test and then you're like, all right, I'm ready to get things. Or if you're like about to take the test and you're ready to do it, and then like, oh, you have to do your fingerprints first, and then you have to. It's a couple week process, and all the penguins that are on your iceberg of knowledge of real estate start to fall off, and it kind of drags out that process to get licensed. It's definitely worth it to look into whatever that is.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. And also I'm not saying that you're at all procrastinating and taking the test, but a lot of times people hold off on signing up to take the test because they're worried that we're not quite 100% ready. And I've had multiple people tell me after they pass the test, maybe they may have failed it the first time, because I always encourage people, like, just do it. You might feel like 70% ready right now, but if you take it, you're gonna realize, let's say you fail. So okay, it costs you 50, $60, whatever the test costs, but you at least know areas where you're like I had no idea what that topic was asking me, and so I'm going to focus on studying that area. And this other area that I was worried about actually crushed that part, so I can take some of the time off of doing those math problems because there's only like one math problem in the test, and so I'm going to shift my time to focusing on um, the legal portion or whatever it is that you discover as you take the test. Because if you just continue to hold off on signing up for the test because you don't feel like you're quite ready, then before you know it, a month will go by, and then you'll be at the end of the program, and then um, you're on the civilian side and still haven't gotten licensed and all that stuff. Al just dropped the comment. He said my father-in-law just took his test in Florida. I can ask him what the process was for him if anyone wants more information. Yeah, that'd be very helpful. And everyone else in the group, whatever state you're in, if you just ask the question like in the group channel on Slack or on here, either of these forums, does anyone have any recommendations for licensing process in Colorado, whatever it is? It's definitely worth asking. Find out things you do not know that you don't know. Mr. Williams.
Hello. Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Hey, great, great. Oh yeah, I've got a long to-do list. I actually just finished moving last weekend, and then I'm having a storage delivery tomorrow. And then the other days have been my VA appointments, which have actually wasted a lot of my time because unfortunately I can't do them on Zoom like this. It's whatever their system is. If you guys are doing VA appointments too, because I heard Tasha mention it last week, so I figured it'd be good for the group. But yeah, you log in and then mine just said like waiting for a physician for 20 minutes. But the whole time they didn't think I was on the other end, and I didn't see an error message or anything. So there was just several hours in the morning wasted because they counted me as a no-show, and I had to fight with them not, to be in bad graces because there's money at stake, with the VA. So, but other than that, I still need to finish up my Vulcan training, and I'm still getting through the course. So, Dave,
Okay.
yeah.
And you're already licensed?
No, still an
Okay.
intern. Yeah. Mhm.
All right. Going back to that VA topic, so in the chat box, I'm gonna drop. So there's this number that was this like hotline. It's called the White House VA hotline, and I think it was made about 4 years ago. I discovered it from a friend, and for those of you that see that number in the chat box or in the comment box, you might have to put a 1 in before the 855. But yeah, so it's the White House VA helpline. It's really just a complaint line that was made about 4 years ago, and you call that number. They ask you like, "What are you complaining about?" And you say, like in your case, Andrew, um, I booked my appointments, I showed up, nobody was there, and now I have to reschedule. And so maybe they'll book you for like an actual in-person appointments. That's how my appointments were in person. It's kind of odd that they're doing online now, because how can they evaluate you unless it's like the psych appointment or something. But once you file your claims, and if you're still waiting, because if you do the benefits delivery at discharge, you're supposed to have your rating like the day you get out, as long as you submit your what's the freedom form? I'm already blanking on the
DD 214.
yeah, that's it, DD 214. So once you submit that thing in the VA portal, that's kind of like the final piece to the puzzle, the missing key to activate the system to give you your VA rating. And so once you submit that, you should supposed to have your rating like within a day after you separate or retire. And most of the time that's not the case. And then that's where this phone number comes into play. You call them, let them know, hey, I did everything I was supposed to do. It's been a week, it's been 2 weeks. In my case, it was 4 months when I came across this phone number. And then a couple weeks after I called that phone number and was like, hey, I've been waiting a long time. They're telling me I can't do anything about it. They're saying just keep waiting, even though I was proactive about this. And then I think it was like a week or two after that, one of like the regional, because like the VA has like regional headquarters for West, Central, East, all that stuff. And so the person that I had been bugging, that was for like California and Hawaii. That person actually called me and said, "Hey, we got a call from the complaint line. We have your rating ready." And I was like, "Wow, that's really funny that I have to call this complaint line to get progress to happen."
It is interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, feel free to save that number and feel free to share it with other
And you
people.
said it was the White House? Is that the
Yeah,
name?
if you
Okay.
if you call it, or you can even Google like White House VA helpline, and that number will come up. But
Okay.
it sounds super intimidating. It's like, well, the White House. Like, oh, is
Yeah,
the
you know.
president's secretary going to answer?
No, it's different.
It's just
Okay. Well, that's a solution, and I really appreciate that.
yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
sure someone else did too. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Has everyone? Yeah, Signy.
Hey, yeah, it's Sydney. I just wanted to share some stuff for people who are doing it in California about talking about just the process of getting your license. I know it's a lengthy process, I guess waiting. So I think I brought this up a couple Zoom calls ago. It almost took me about 3 to 4 months just for my application to be reviewed by the Board of California. So when you're telling other people just to kind of get jump start on it, it's actually a great recommendation. As well as if you, another possible thing you can do is if you already have your DD 214, I don't know about other states, but when I applied to California, you can actually submit your DD 214 showing your military, and they'll expedite your application above, or in front of other people. So that's a helpful thing to do if you have your 214. And then speaking of taking your test, it is, I would say, take it as well, just because you can get that covered by the VA at times through the education department of the VA, just submitting, hey, I took this state test. Sometimes they'll reimburse you for test fees. So if cost is your guys' concern, just know, talking to the VA reps, they can try to find a way if it's eligible to be reimbursed. If it's not, they'll just tell you, fill out these paperwork to show that's like accredited coursework or something like that. And then if they approve it, you'll get your money back. So I just wanted to share that California side. I don't know about other states or how that works, but that's what I've experienced through this process so far.
Thank you for sharing that, Sydney. And yet, like you really don't know, and it could change even really in states like Hawaii. Might be a longer process now. Just as political stuff changes, as well, like NAR, all that different stuff that's changing. It's definitely good to be proactive and look into getting all the processes going and seeing if there's going to be any hiccups. Like you can just call like for here, it's the DCCA, Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs. And you can call like your local equivalent of that and see like, hey, what's the wait time for getting applications processed? Is there anything I can do right now to prepare so that when I pass my test, boom, I take my certificate, have the application like that. You can ask them for the application. Like if you can get started on that paperwork, there might be some item on there that you might be changing. Like maybe if you're getting married or something, changing your legal name, whatever it is, things you can be doing to be proactive about that, because it is quite a roller coaster ride when you leave that comfortable military pay and you're just working kind of client to client. But it's definitely worth it. I made this little motivational poster to share with you guys today. Some words of encouragement, because it is an exhilarating ride. So enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only if you find it. So some of you might recognize that's a Bible verse talking about salvation, but using that as a metaphor in this case for pursuing a life as a like entrepreneur, as a realtor, as a self-employed person. Being self-employed like not everybody does it. Very few do it actually, because you can you pull out onto your nearest main road and you see everybody driving to their jobs. Like that's everybody going down the wide gate. That's easier to do. That you show up to work, you do what you're supposed to do, you clock in, you clock out, you go home, forget about work, and enjoy your life. But the only catch is you're going to be doing that until you're 60, 70, until you die almost. Because even when you reach that retirement from that job, you're going to have to do something to pay the bills, because that retirement isn't going to be big enough to cover your daily expenses. However, if you get after it, you hustle, work hard in real estate and entrepreneurial endeavors, you can, at the age of 40, 50, you can step away from working full time. But you might still need to keep tabs on things that are making money for you. Like that's our personal goal for my wife and I to once we're like 45-ish, kind of start cranking back on our work hours. Right now we're probably still averaging close to like 60 hours a week that we're putting towards working with clients, because we're just making ourselves available at almost all hours. But that has paid off. We just moved out of our condo last week, got tenants in there, renting it out for $4,000 a month. We're in this house that we've been renovating. Great learning process. Planning on getting some tenants in part of the house, and then the whole house, and then buy another property, and then just continue to build our portfolio so that we can work towards our goal of living and kind of with like not passive income necessarily, because we're still going to be actively keeping eyes on all those things that are making us money, but not working for money, making money work for us. That's all I've got for today. Hopefully you got some kind of value from this meeting. I'll stick around for a few more minutes in case anyone has any saved rounds. Otherwise, have a wonderful day. Aloha.
Thanks, Zor.